2, 1. And we're live. Welcome to the live stream show. I'm Brad Powell, and today we're talking about what I call the fake marketing premise. And this is the premise, the belief that you need to be an extrovert or become irrelevant. Be an extrovert or become irrelevant. Now, this is the message that practically all marketing gurus are saying. You know, they're saying you need to show up, shout the loudest, be everywhere, like be all over the place as much as possible. And if you're not doing that, if you're not acting like the most outgoing, gregarious extrovert out there, you will basically become invisible. You'll be irrelevant. And if you happen to be an extrovert, if you happen to naturally love and get energy from being outgoing and being out there in the world, then this will work for you. But why is it fake? Well, because for the rest of the population, like the other half of people who are not extroverts, the people who are more introvert, the people who are not comfortable and also just simply do not get energy from being so gregarious, they don't want to spend their whole life on social media. For that population, basically they're asking you to pretend to be something you're not, to fake who you are and be like this other fake person in order to be successful. In fact, they're saying the only way that you can succeed is to fake it, is to be something fake. And I'm here to tell you, it's not true. That's what we're talking about today. Stay tuned, and here is the intro. Recorded live in Boston, Massachusetts, this is the Livestream Show. In a world full of underexposed entrepreneurs, the Livestream Show is your gateway to a global community of live stream pioneers who dare to go live and create something special and unexpected, which could only happen because it was live. I'm your host, Brad Powell. Let's get on with the show. Welcome back. And you know what? I am just noticing, I have a notice on my thing that says my battery is super low and it's plugged in. So let me do one quick adjustment. Oh, gosh, here we go. Whew, that was a close one. Oh, you know, you do all these things. In fact, I should do a little stop motion or fast motion period of how I get set up and all the different things I need to do in order to set up my live stream. And there's probably 50 items, you know, that are all the different parts that go together in putting together your live stream. Getting it all set up, like I place my flowers, I put the lamp back here, I angle the camera. Today it happens to be cloudy, so I can aim the camera a little bit out the window so you can see this beautiful pine trees in my background. Gives this whole feeling of depth and 3 dimensions. You know, I'm here and there's all this space behind me. So that's one part, and I have to put my camera on the tripod and I have to hook it up to my switcher, and then I have to hook that up to my computer, and then I have to bring in my microphone, and I have to connect that up to the camera, and I have a reflector on this side, so I'm getting some light bouncing back on this side of my face, and there's a lot of pieces that go into setting up your live stream, including making sure your laptop is plugged in. Now, I swear that I had it plugged in, but I didn't. So even though I have done this literally hundreds and hundreds of times, it's easy. Oh, it's so easy to forget that one thing. So I guess the answer to that question is make a checklist and go down that checklist, religiously every time you go live so that all things are remembered. And then you can check the checklist and go, did I do this? Did I do this? Did I do this? Check, 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 and get it all done. And then after all of that, hit the record button. And the last thing on your list? The last thing on your list before you press live is you want to smile. Always start smiling before you hit the live button. And then when the thing does go live, you're coming off your smile. And I have seen so many people going live. And when you see them going live, like the thing comes on and they don't know they're on yet. And they're looking down at their thing and they're kind of frowning and they're trying to figure out, am I live? Is it really happening? And then maybe 30 seconds later, they go, oh, look, it's on. And then they look up at the camera and they go, hello. Well, don't start that way. Always imagine that you're going to be going live instantly. And so smile, look at the camera, look right into the lens, and then hit live. So that's a little off-topic rant, given that I just had a little disruption there of my computer not being plugged in. So I want to get back on topic. And I'm talking about this fake premise, the premise that says, in order to be successful, you have to act like an extrovert. Be an extrovert or be irrelevant. That's the premise. And the big, huge thought leaders who are the absolute leaders of this school of thought are people like Gary Vaynerchuk or Grant Cardone. And these folks, these two guys, are really, larger than life characters. And they have made it their business. They've made it their brand to be the biggest and the loudest and the most provocative and the most in your face and to be all over the place, to just be huge and everywhere, often, every single day. And to their credit, their personalities and their way they are, I honestly believe that all of that activity gives them energy. They absolutely thrive on being the way who they are. And the truth is, they are being genuine. They are being true to themselves by behaving the way they do. And they believe, I think incorrectly, that everyone should be like them. And the trouble with that premise is that there's a whole bunch of people in the world, and myself included, who are just not like that. We are not wired to be outgoing and turned on all the time. Now, I can go back and forth. I like teaching. Teaching gives me energy. And I like working, particularly with small groups of people where there's all this interaction and people are learning and teaching each other. And I like being a facilitator of those kinds of activities. And I've been doing that kind of thing now for many years, more than 30 years. I've been that kind of educator. And I love it. It gives me energy. However, I go back and forth between being able to do that, being able to be on, and then I need to go and recharge. So the idea that I would show up every single day, all year long, without even giving myself a chance to recharge, wouldn't work for me. I would completely burn out if I was on that kind of schedule and that kind of treadmill. And I know that this is true for a lot of people. It may be true for you. And there's people who are even more introverted than that. There are more people who are very introspective, very thoughtful. They do their work best on their own. And this is true for me. I worked for quite a while in a co-working space. And in the beginning, I thought, oh, this will be great. I'll be meeting people. It'll be interactive. We'll bump into folks. That'll be awesome. But what I found after working there for a while is that my concentration was constantly broken and my productivity declined in that kind of environment because there'd be someone over in another part of the room who'd be having a phone conversation and they'd be talking loudly on the phone. And I just found that super distracting from my own process and my own best way of working. And I know that this is true for a huge swath of the population. I think half or more than half of the people in the world are more introverted than they are extroverted. And at least there are people who, even though they can turn on and they can show up and they can be animated for periods of time, they have to spend an equal or greater amount of time on their own, retreating, reflecting, and literally recharging so that they can come back with that same energy again in the future. So this is the thing. I think like this fear of missing out, that this fear of like, if I don't act like Gary Vaynerchuk, if I don't act like I'm this bigger than life person or persona all the time, if I don't somehow not be who I am, but I pretend to be this outgoing, everywhere, all the time, bright person, here's my thing. Well, if that's, the idea that that's the only way to success is just not true. What you need instead of the Gary Vaynerchuk system of marketing is you need a system of marketing that is built to lean into your particular strengths. You need to create a system of marketing that highlights the kind of person who you are. And so that people who are like you and who believe the same things that you do will resonate and be drawn to you. Because if we all start showing up like Gary Vaynerchuk, and that's not us, then we're going to be attracting people who are not the right fit for us. And it's really important to be who you are, to be the person who you are. And so that when people see you, they're actually seeing you. Think about that for a minute. So here's the thing. You may be really good at having deep, meaningful conversations with a person one-on-one. That could be your thing. And if that's true for you, then say doing something like a podcast or doing something like what I'm doing, a video podcast, could be the very best thing. This show is a video podcast and you can consume it right here live. I really like going live because when people are here live, we can have a conversation and I love that. And the other cool thing is that this gets turned into an audio version. And if you want to hit those audio versions, you can go find them at thelivestreamshow.com. And these episodes you can listen to, and you can listen to them, in your ear and on your phone. And when you are contributing value, and when you are contributing to the conversation that you want to have around the thing that you do, and when you want to help people out with what you're up to, you can be having the thing that you know how to do really well. You can be having this deep, meaningful conversation with the people who you are here to serve, and you can do it in this really intimate way. And it's, it's who you are. It definitely lends itself more to the kind of person and the kind of way that you prefer to show up, that the way you prefer to interact. And especially with the long form podcasting, people will listen on their own to an audio version of your content for 30 minutes or for an hour, for a very long time, way more than they will sit and watch a video, way more than they will, spend time on social media, for example, on any single piece of content. So this is a way for you to go really deep with people. And if you'd like to learn the first steps of what would a marketing system like this look like, I've created this Big Reach audio guide. Just go to bigreachaudio.com and you can find that. It's free. It's this free little training of, if you want to create a marketing system for the introvert expert that is you, then go get my Big Reach audio guide. It's right there for you. And if you really want to go deep, I've got a whole program. The doors are open now to the Big Reach audio program. where basically we walk you through creating a piece of content that's just what I'm talking about. And so by the end of this program, you will have created one of these things where you will be able to draw and attract exactly the right people, so that when they go through the training that you create, this deep, meaningful conversation that you create for your people, those people will know whether or not they're a perfect fit for you. So that like when you get them on a call, when you actually talk to them in person, that kind of conversation will be really different because they'll be already to a place like saying, oh yeah, this is, you're the person that I really want to work with. And so this is very powerful, and it will help you succeed as the person who you are, not faking it to try and be like something that you are not. And this is one of the missions that I'm on, is like, I want to help people come to the marketplace, come to the world at large, and not only just simply be a better marketer, that's a worthy goal, but to be able to express themselves as the person who they are, like in their most authentic way. So they're not trying to be something else. I mean, one of the hard things about this social media world that we've created for ourselves is that it's filled with fakeness. It's filled with artificiality. It's filled with people who are doing the whole, selfie pose, and here's my perfect life and my perfect car and my perfect spouse and my perfect dog and my perfect picket fence and my perfect whatever, the perfect outfit that I'm wearing and the perfect beach that I'm going to and the perfect sunset that I'm watching. And none of that is very real. Like, our lives actually don't look like that. And, and yet all of our profile pictures and all of our professional way of showing up is this striving for a kind of artificial look at perfection. And the more comfortable you can be with showing up just as the person who you are, this is, I believe, the path to true success. The more successful you will become. So it is not true that you have to be an extrovert or you will become irrelevant. In fact, I'm going to say that if you try to be an extrovert and you're not already one, that is the road to being fake and being untrue to yourself, and you will end up in a place that you don't like at all if you try to do that. It may work for a little while, but ultimately, in the long run, it will not succeed for you if that is not who you are. And that, honestly, you basically want to take the hood off. You want to show yourself, like just as I did at the start of this video where I went, oh no, my computer is unplugged. I need to go fix that. So you can start that way, like that's real. Like, I am being real with you. I'm not trying to fake that, I'm the professional live streamer and everything is perfect. I mean, there's a woman named Luria Petrucci, and one of the things that I actually really like about her is that she is a little bit, sorry, Luria, if I say this and it insults you, but she's a little bit klutzy. And she often or frequently will make little errors when she goes live, and she just kind of takes care of it in the moment. And I find that very endearing. And I'm sure that as time goes on, she's just going to continue to be like that. And it's just really refreshing. It is so refreshing, as opposed to the polished, perfect, everything is great, everything is always just exactly so, kind of like what you see when you see broadcasters. I mean, the reason that we do this is because we've seen through the traditional media examples of what is looking like perfection. So you have, the coiffed newscaster who is showing up with the suit or the beautiful dress and the beautiful outfit and the beautiful lighting and the beautiful studio and the beautiful sound, and they're always looking very composed and relaxed. And they talk like professional broadcasters. And they might even have a pseudo, almost artificial British accent. and none of it is real, like it's not them, like they're not an actual person. And so this is what I'm saying. Be yourself. You don't have to be something that you're not. And in fact, instead of the extrovert path to success, you just need a simple marketing system that is wrapped around you that will support you in your biggest strength. So if you're an introvert expert and you know that you have a certain way of being that is nothing like Gary Vaynerchuk, great. There are many ways that you can market yourself being the way you are. And I have created my whole Big Reach broadcasting system is built around this. And if you want the first steps, go get my Big Reach audio guide. Go to bigreachaudioguide.com and you can get that for free. Or the doors are open right now to my Big Reach audio program. And you can learn more about that and watch the whole welcome video to that program at bigreachaudio.com. And that is what I have for you today. I will see you in the next video. So long, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Love it when you're here. Have a great rest of your Sunday.